I'll give them a 9. Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily give them a 10, but the reason why I give them a 9 is because I would argue that they are where we probably expect in terms of mid-table. No, because we're taking
top half.
No, but
the 10th.
But is that on mid-table?
In the top half.
Is that on the middle of the table?
In the top half.
Because there is no 10.5 in it. It's 10, 11. So that's middle. That is literally the middle of the table. We are halfway through the season, coming up to halfway anyway. I just want to let's do a ratings, half-term report, you could say, of the teams. Out of 10, we'll go for, we'll go for the Premier League. Out of 10, how we rate these teams. So, Liverpool,
10.
Out of 10.
10.
By rating them in the Premier League so far?
Yeah, so far, this season.
Yeah, we'll give them a 10.
Give them a 10?
Yeah, of course.
They haven't done
what would you give
They
them?
haven't lost the game.
I give them a...
If you're going to give anyone a 10.
Yeah, I wasn't going to give anyone a 10. I give them a 9. The reason why I say that, because a 10 is perfect, which means
They've
like...
had the perfect season. They haven't lost a single game.
But the perfect season, we win every game.
No, but they haven't lost a single game.
But I think... put it like this, if they were 10, I would make them favourites for the Premier League. Because like, well, they're untouchable. But I don't think they're untouchable. I think there's been certain games which you're gonna expect, where you would think, are they gonna lose this? The Chelsea one, and they plucked it out of the bag, and the Man City one, and they got lucky with the Mahrez penalty miss. I would personally give them a 9, but if both of you say 10, I'm content to stick with that. Man City,
9, I think. It's weird because the thing is they would have expected to be top of the Premier League. They set their expectations so high from last year that they would have expected to be a lot better, and even closer. 4 points behind off the top is quite big in terms of their difference from last year.
Well, if I'm correct, at this stage last season, it was either 18 games or 19 games. They had 55 points, and this year they're on 44. It might be 19 games. So if they were to win their next game, that would take them to 47. So they'll still be 4 points behind where they were at last season. Yeah,
but they're still playing brilliant football, and they're still destroying teams left, right, and centre. So, and they're definitely in the title race. So that's the least they expected to be. So yeah, 9 for me.
Let's give them an 8.5.
I'm happy with a 9, so we'll stick with 9. Spurs. 6 points up to the title.
Go on, Nat, you go.
Can I give them an 8.5?
Give them what you want.
Yeah, 8.5.
I'll give them a 9.
A 9 as well.
Their best start to the Premier League season. They're only 2 points behind Man City. So if we're giving Man City a 9, based on the you could say the squad they have in terms of player for player, what they're doing, I would say they're overachieving.
Actually, you're right.
If anything. I would, if anything, if we're getting Man City a 9, I could easily argue a 9.5 for Spurs. Yeah. I'm gonna Spurs a 9.5 because they didn't sign anyone in the summer, so this is the same squad they've gone with. Obviously, Sissoko's rejuvenated, Lamella's rejuvenated, Moura's settled in now. Yeah, I'm gonna give them a 9.5.
Yeah,
10.
I said 10.
What did you say?
For
8.5.
No, I'm pushing it up to 9 now.
Okay,
but he said 10.
I'm saying 10. I think this is, as you said, their best ever Premier League season they've ever had. Regardless whether or not they sign any players, this is their team's brilliant. They're playing brilliant football, and for me, this is the best that they will ever be in the Premier League era. So, how can I give them any less than a 10? This is the best they've been. I don't think they can get any better than this. So I have to give them their best, which is a 10.
So that's a 9.5 in total because he gave a 9, I gave 9.5, you gave 10, so that would average out. It probably doesn't, but it's there or thereabouts. She's probably just round up to a 10, 9.75. So, I guess we're gonna have to give them a 10 then, isn't it? Chelsea, new manager, level on points in the battle for 4th place. 8 points. Well, I would know that I was 8 points clear of 4th place. They're just level on points for 4th place. 11 points off the title. I would say I'll give them an 8. obviously we knew that the top 4 race would be tight. I didn't actually expect them to get the top 4. They are just in it on goal difference. At the end of the season, that may not be the case. They've been inconsistent at times. They've played well, and at times they haven't. But I think they're very, very dependent on Hazard. If he doesn't perform, then they don't really offer much. I know Pedro, Willian, they're still trying to get to the magical 5 goals that we asked them in that first episode. So I have to give them an 8.
I think I agree. I think 8. You know, they were they were in the title race in the first 5, 6, 7 games, and you thought they could go all the way. And you know they've fallen off and couldn't be further from the title now. So, you know, but they were overachieving at the time. I didn't think they were going to be anywhere near the title race. So for me, they were overachieving at the time, and now they're sort of falling back into place. But they're not secure in 4th place. You know, they're 11 points with Arsenal. I don't think they'll get in the top 4. They might get in the top 4 this year, but it's going to be a battle, and it might go down, you know, towards the end of the season. So yeah, I don't think I can give them any more than an 8, and I could have given them a 7, but I have to take that.
I was gonna give them a 7.5 because they were doing well. Like at the beginning of the season, like I was slightly worried, just slightly, ever so slightly worried. Like even when we played them, like they were quite good, and then all of a sudden, like they just started dropping, and all of a sudden they're 4th, 11 points. I was like, you know what? Let me just give them a 7.
They've had 2 results recently. They had the Wolves and then the Leicester. 2 games you'd expect them, and in between all that, they beat Man City, and it's like, yeah, it's very inconsistent in that regard. Arsenal again, new manager, scoring goals. 2 of the best strikers in the league, not the 2 best, but 2 of the best. Still struggling to defend, but they are well in the race for 4th place. I guess most people said they will be challenging for 4th. In that regard, they had that long unbeaten run in all competitions. I think it was 22 in the end, or 21. Yeah, 20. Yeah. What were you giving them?
I'm gonna give them an 8. I think no one expected them to be title challengers this year. You know, it was always gonna be
most years.
It was always gonna be a top 4 aim. You could even say a minimum expectation for Arsenal. This is what we set under Arsene Wenger, so why should it be any different now under Emery? So I think it's still the sort of minimum expectation the board would want. It'd be 4th place or top 4 finish. But you know, they're not in the top 4 as we speak. So you know, they're not on top. They're not currently on target if the Premier League was to end right now. I know we're not 19 games exactly yet, but you know, so there's still a lot of work to go. And yeah, I can't give them any more than an 8.
I don't know.
Just remember, Liverpool couldn't beat Arsenal. Just remember,
we were playing you lot in first gear.
As 10 out of 10 that they are, they couldn't beat
We were
Arsenal.
playing you in first gear,
So just
and you were playing in 5th gear, and
you didn't
win.
win.
But we were
But you
playing in first gear.
But you didn't win. I don't care what gear you're in. You didn't win.
Watch on Saturday, innit?
What's happening?
We're
Oh,
playing
yeah.
on Saturday. Let's say no more.
Listen, but
And we're
Saturday's
playing
not
at
here.
home at Anfield as well.
Just give it a
Anfield
rate.
is a magical place. I'm just saying, innit?
What's your rating?
I can't think of a number right now, but I feel like that 22 game unbeaten run was surprising, but same time was in the Europa League Cup, FA Cup,
bit fraudulent.
couple Prem games, and all of a sudden we're 22 games unbeaten. But what has surprised me though is the fact that they're actually 5th, because with that defense, oh my gosh, they should be where United are, or a bit lower.
I think the reason where Arsenal are where they are, you know, is full credit to Manchester United. So it's only because we're as bad as we are that we've allowed Chelsea and Arsenal to be where they are. But that's a topic for another day.
I'll give them a. What did he give them?
8.
8. What are you giving them?
Wait, just give your rating, man.
I'm gonna give them a. Okay, considering their defense is so poor, give them a 7.
7.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm giving them an 8. So
Yeah.
that makes it a 7.5 or something like that.
Because that defense is so shocking.
Manchester United. Now, obviously, we're sitting pretty in 6th.
You're in 6th.
No, 2 points?
Mm-hmm.
2 points above 7th. 19. You're lying. 19 off the title. That's the same gap as I said we were when the title finished last season, when the Premier League finished. Honestly, I have to give us a 4 out of 10. We've been that bad.
That's a lot.
Nah, I think 4 is right.
4's a lot.
No, it's not a lot. It's not. It don't make it. It's not. I'll give it. What our goal difference is +4. I'll give us that because we can't defend. I mean, we couldn't defend last season anyway, but at least we weren't conceding goals. Now we still can't defend, and we're conceding goals, and we're struggling to score. Obviously, all this before Solskjaer's first game. We're not where we need to be, not where we want to be, and not where we expected to be. We finished 2nd last year, now we're down in 6th.
How the mighty have fallen.
You're right. At the moment, but I'll give us a 4 out of
10. I've got to go. I don't think I can give a higher than a 3. I genuinely can't give you higher than a 3. I was thinking about it. I thought, you know what? How bad you have been this season. 20-time Premier League, 20-time league.
As bad as we are,
20-time league.
As bad as we were, you still couldn't beat us. As you actually, you want to remind that about it.
Exactly.
And you gave yourselves like, hey.
And
so
and you know what is one of our most disappointing results we've had this season.
It's actually your best performance of the year.
I mean, some of the performances this year, it's schoolboy stuff. Schoolboy defending. Schoolboy defending. I'm seeing players playing all over the place. Just players just not even look like they're wanting to be there. Some of the best players in the world, let alone the league, World Cup winners in your squad, and you're just falling below expectations. I thought you were going to be in the, I think I said top 3.
Yeah.
How wrong was I? Well, you never know, but how wrong am I looking now? I'm looking like a fool. With them stupid predictions. 3 for me.
Nathanael.
0.
Nathanael.
No.
Nathanael.
You've been so bad.
But Nathanael.
No. 0.
Nathanael.
0. I'm standing by it.
If you say 0, I have to nullify your and just do it out of me wrong. 0.
Okay, I'll give you a 1.
Why is it a 1?
1. You've been so bad. I don't think you understand how bad you've been.
I do.
It's so bad. 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 The definition of bads. Oh my days, you've been so bad. Like when I played, no, not when I played. When Liverpool played you lot, I expected it to actually be a challenge.
Why?
Because that game is a game where it doesn't matter how your season's been going. It's Manchester versus Liverpool. It's actually the game where you turn up.
Yeah.
And I didn't even see United. You guys just didn't play. I expect you lot to give us a challenge. I don't care if your manager's annoying you, your whatever it is, just play. Bun the tactics, just play ball, man. The way you lot played against Cardiff is how the energy, all of that is how you lot should have played us. That would have made me happy at least. At least when we have beaten you.
If you had beaten.
No, we still would have beaten you. But it would have been more of a challenge. It would have been more interesting to watch. You guys are so terrible.
All right, so that
unbelievable.
That average is at 3, 2.7. But
yeah, can I just say, Liverpool beat you 3-1.
Yeah, I know.
You remember that? Yeah. It was the other day.
I remember that.
Yeah.
But I know there's a few. I know there's a few results that you seem to be forgetting, and I'm still waiting for the answers. I'm still waiting for the answers. I'm just saying it. I'm just waiting for the answer. I remember what I need to remember. You seem to have amnesia when it comes to Liverpool and their results. We're gonna run through these quickly. Watford sitting in 7th, 2 points off Manchester United, but it's very tight from 7th right down to 12th. There's 3 points separated. So Watford 7th. What are we giving them?
8. Having a good season. On the markers. Not the markers over. Who's the manager? Javi
Garcia.
Garcia, is that his name?
Should be.
Yeah. Having a good season. They sometimes we'll go a few games without getting a result, then get a win and push ourselves back up.
Gracia.
Gracia. Yeah. So I'll give them an 8.
Watford, just give them a 6. I haven't watched any of their games, to be honest. I'm not gonna lie. The fact that they're putting pressure on United, I'm happy. Make them give them more pressure. I don't know. Like I haven't watched any of their games.
I'll give them a 7.
give them
I
much.
think the position they're in, I'm gonna say it's a false position, obviously, but it ebbs and flows with form. 'Cause at one point, obviously, Bournemouth were like flying high. They won a bit of form and they dropped. And you win a game, you fly up, you go down. When you lose a game, you drop. So literally, if they lose their game today, as when this podcast comes out, 26th, then they could be down in 12th, and you might give a different rating. But I'll give them a 7. I think that's cool. Bournemouth, I will give them an 8. Again, similar to Watford in terms of, you win a game, you go up and down. But I think the way that they've played this season, especially against the big teams, other than Liverpool, they obviously got battered there 4-0, but they've put up a good fight against all the big teams, look dangerous against all the big teams. And obviously they've got one of the top scorers in the league in Callum Wilson. So yeah, for me, I'd give them an 8.
Yeah, I agree. I give them an 8. Like I said, having a good season. Probably just surpassing their expectations of the season so far. Top half finish would probably win their aim. Probably improve it from last year, which is happening. Getting the best out of Wilson, Fraser, Brooks. So he's improving the team. I think defensively they're still they're conceded a lot of goals at the back. So I think that's where Eddie Howe's got to sort them out. But as the league table goes, it's looking good for them.
I'll just give them an 8 as well. Like Callum Wilson's balling, isn't it? So what can I say?
England international.
International goal scorer.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
Leicester, obviously Premier League winners from 2016.
Something 15? Like that.
15,
isn't it?
Wow.
Yeah. Obviously they lost Mahrez in this summer. Got in James Maddison. Vardy. I don't think Vardy. He scored, but he don't seem to be scoring the same rate that he was last year.
He's getting old.
Yeah, I guess so. He retired from international duty as well. But they are in 9th. I would say that's about.
That's where
that's about where they would
yeah.
kind of expect to finish around that position. I'll personally give them I'll say a 7. I think met expectations thus far.
Yeah, I'll give them a 7's probably about right as well. To be fair, 6, 7. I think I'll give them a 7, especially obviously the whole scenario around the chairman passing away.
Oh yeah, of course.
That could have had a massive impact on them either way as well. So that's mentally they had to get through a lot, and they probably still are going through. All of the players, the fans, the backroom staff, everything that have been through that trauma. So it'd be harsh to give them anything less than a 7, I think. And they just come off a great result against Chelsea. Against the odds away from home. And I think they're moving to the right direction. Some of the fans weren't too sure when we went up there about Claude Puel, but
I think a few of their minds might have changed since then. Possibly, we'll see, and we'll see. But I think he's getting the best out of their best players at the moment.
Yeah.
I'll give them a 7 as well. They beat Chelsea, and then obviously the chairman died as well. But yeah, they've been playing all right. I expected them to be in the top 10. So, yeah.
Wolverhampton Wanderers.
Oh my days.
Obviously, we know they got money. They got quality players. Martinho, Neves, Jota, Jimenez. Doherty's been a bit of a revelation, especially when it comes to fantasy football. Rui Patricio, the goalkeeper. They are 10th, 25 points, newly promoted. What are we giving them?
10.
10.
10. I mean, a newly promoted team in the top half of the table come Christmas. They spent a lot of money, and no one expected them to get relegated.
No, yeah.
But it's the Premier League. Anyone could be drawn into a battle just because you spent money, as we'll come into later on with some of the other teams. Doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be safe. And to be in the top half of the table, 2 points off 7th, 4 points off a potential place in Europe. 7th could be Europe even sometimes as well. So I think they haven't, they couldn't have asked for anything more than that. I don't know, their fans would have couldn't have expected to get this far. So I'm going high. I'm giving them a 10.
I'll give them a 9. give them a 9 because they're actually playing very well. Like against the top 6 teams, I think they've only lost to 2, and they've drawn the rest. I can't remember the actual stat.
Who they lose? They lost to you lot.
Yeah.
What happened? Did you lot beat them?
We drew.
We drew. We drew. Man City drew. They beat Chelsea and Spurs. I'm not sure that result.
I think
Spurs beat them.
Yeah,
Well,
but Spurs beat them. Spurs,
Okay, so
but that was a good
won
game.
1, drawn 3, and lost 2 against the Big Six.
And they actually surprised me, like the way they've come at the top teams, like they're attacking, like they're defending decently, like they're actually playing like a top side, like they're actually quite good, and like I like watching them play as well. So for a newly, I gave them a 9, yeah. And like for a newly promoted side, imagine they're 9th. Like teams that were in the league last season before that, they've just come in and they've taken 10th already. Like, come on.
I'll give them a 9. I wouldn't necessarily give them a 10, but the reason why I give them a 9 is because I would argue that they are where we probably expect in terms of mid-table. No, because we're taking
top half.
No, but
the 10th.
But is that on mid-table?
In the top half.
Is that not the middle of the table?
In the top half.
Because there is no 10.5 in it. It's 10, 11. So that's middle. That is literally the middle of the table. But yes, they're newly promoted. But we didn't expect of them what we do of normal newly promoted sides because of the investment, the quality of players. So I would personally.
I think I still expecting them to be in a relegation battle.
Really?
Yeah. It's not easy coming up.
I know, Ramone.
It's not easy coming up.
Relegation battle.
So many teams finish top of the championship, come up looking like they're great, and still end up in a relegation
battle.
battle.
I'm looking at the quality of the players that they've actually got. They got like internationals. Portugal internationals, not random like Northern Ireland or something like that.
Yeah, but they don't always work. So many times you see these players buy all these international players. They come in, they get the team relegated, and they just go off somewhere else. You know,
I hear that. But when I see the quality there anyway, like people like Ruben Neves, for example, Rui Patricia, I think I wouldn't. They've done better against the big sides than I expected. Even just in terms of the way they've gone about it. The results alone were good enough, but the way they've gone about it. But then they've, especially I'll say coming up to this period, they've been on a little bad run of form, losing against teams that, I mean, yes, some of them are Premier League established teams, but based on what they did against the big sides, you would say, these are games that they should be winning, which they haven't done for all of them. But
it goes back to my original point of the Premier League is not easy.
No, I know.
This is why I thought they'll be in a relegation battle, because of the fact that you can't just come up to the Premier League and just dominate as they have been in some of the games so far. So for me, that they've overachieved in the way they played against the big six. I agree with that. Struggled in some of the games against the bottom, but also had some good results down there as well. So yeah.
Well, I'll give them a 9. So that averages out a 9 between us three.